So, welcome to today's Brown Lounge Winemaker Series. We're here at Bin 41 in West Seattle, which is our favorite shop. And if you don't know about Bin 41, make sure you come down and try their wines. We're here at a Friday night wine tasting, which is a normal occurrence for my wife and I. And I'm here with Craig Haserot of Sojourn Cellars. And we are delighted to have Craig fly up from Sonoma. We're going to talk about his wines in a second. So, Craig, how are you doing today?
Wonderful.
Welcome to West Seattle.
Great. Brought the beautiful weather this weekend.
You picked a good day.
We picked
a good day.
Yeah.
So I always like to start out these kind of conversations with you telling the audience really a little about yourself.
Sure.
Where you're from and how you got to where you are today.
Grew up in Los Angeles. Spent a few years in Chicago in high tech. I was in computer software sales and sales management.
Oh, you were?
And then in 2001, just was really looking for a break and a change. And my business partner, actually my tennis doubles partner and I, Erich, decided to start making a little Project Cabernet.
Oh.
And so we made some Project Cabernet. Erich is my business partner and winemaker with our Sojourn Cellars project. And he and I started making some Cabernet in 2001 as a project. And the project grew to where it is today at 5,000 cases.
And tell the audience where you're located.
Yeah, so we're in Sonoma, California, 45 minutes north of the Golden Gate Bridge, sort of the gateway to wine country. And we produce Pinot Noir and Cabernet.
And tell us a little bit about the wines and the varietals and the names of the wines and
sure. So
your vision for the wine.
Yeah. So our project is called Sojourn Cellars, and we are a boutique artisan producer of Pinot Noir and Cabernet. We make our wines in very small lots in a high-end artisan fashion using native fermentation, hand punch downs, and no fining or filtering.
Oh, okay.
And we're definitely taking some risk and pushing the edge on the wines with the desire to make the absolute best quality wines that we can.
And tell us a little bit about your price point and how people buy your wines. And
yeah, we started making Pinot Noir. We started making Cabernet in 2001, and then in 2004 we added Cabernet. Our passion, although Erich and I started making Cabernet, our passion is always Pinot Noir. And
tell us a little bit about that. Like, how do you characterize your Pinots and like? What's your kind of vision? Because all winemakers have like a vision for their wines, and like, what are you going for when you
sure.
make Sojourn?
Yeah, I would say strategically, we spend a lot of time and effort and energy focusing on mouthfeel. Okay. So when someone opens a bottle of Sojourn wine, we really want that wine to feel good in your mouth. It's our philosophy that whatever you eat or whatever you drink, if it feels good in your mouth, it almost always tastes good too. So we spend a lot of cycles on tannin management, both in the vineyard and then in the winery, to ensure that our wines have great balance and that they feel right first.
Right.
So
okay.
that's kind of our MO. And as we taste through some of the wines, I think you'll see that also.
So I sort of cut you off. You're going to tell us a little bit, like, where can people buy your wines, and sort of give us the kind of the price range for your wines.
Sure. So our Pinot Noirs are range from $39 to $48, and our Cabernets range from $39 to $95.
Okay.
And we sell in Seattle. We have one wine shop. That's Bin 41, where we're at right now. Bin 41 actually. T came to us, kind of a unique situation where T came to us and she said she had to have the wine, so we went through the licensing process so that she could be able to resell them here in Seattle, and she's the one and only. And so our wines in the Seattle area are here. We also sell about 75% of our wines actually direct to consumer.
Right.
So we kind of focus on that avenue. First and foremost.
Well, I always like to ask this question of people in the wine business, especially winemakers, people who own vineyards, or people who actually own the business. I'm sure you drink your own products and you love your own products, but
sure.
Are there other wines that you enjoy drinking or other winemakers that you admire?
I spend a significant amount of my time what we call off-the-clock drinking Burgundy.
Uh-huh.
When you make young California Pinot and Cabernet, it can be a challenge to always drink young Pinot Noir and Cabernet. We love our wines. We drink our wines all the time. But in the winemaking process, you're forced to spend a lot of time putting your wine in your mouth as we go through the winemaking process and procedures to actually come up with a product. And so I love Pinot, and Pinot from another country that tastes a little bit different is appealing.
I couldn't agree more. Love French Burgundy, and I love the the entire process around making Pinot in general, because I know it's not a simple process. But you mentioned just briefly food,
yes,
and T mentioned food a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So I assume you like to eat. Most winemakers do.
I
Do
do
you have
like
like
to
favorite food and wine pairings?
Sure.
Or just maybe one that you really like?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of either red Burgundy or California Pinot, with duck. So
Duck.
big fan of the grilled duck breast. Duck and Pinot goes well, either grilled or confit, etc. So that's kind of that would be one of my personal favorites.
And I always like to also ask, because I'm sure you don't work all the time, like what do you do when you're not working? Do you have any hobbies? You don't
I do work all the time. I play a lot of tennis.
Play a lot of tennis.
I play a lot of tennis, and I also spend a fair amount of time actually collecting wine, and then in different wine groups, a lot of those Burgundy-based wine groups with different groups of friends, tasting wines. So do spend a fair amount of time off the clock tasting wines, not necessarily ours, but more in the
it's one of the perks of the job.
More in the Burgundy. Well, it's just like one of the forced perks of life.
And if you weren't a winemaker, I always love to ask this question: like, what would you be doing?
What would I be doing?
Would be an astronaut or a software entrepreneur, genius kind of guy, or what would you be doing?
Definitely not a software entrepreneur, genius guy. From a realistic standpoint, I'd be helping Brian Flannery in Corte Madera help to market his unbelievable beef products.
Oh.
He's got a stunning line of beef that he markets around the country, much mail order, but we were just talking this morning as I was in his shop, and which is down in Marin on my way to the airport, and I told him that in my second life, or my next life, I'll be his social media director.
Great.
And he and I can just fly around and eat steak together.
Okay, great. Well, great. So before we close on the interview,
sure,
tell the audience about your website. What's the domain name? How do you get to your site so people can check you out?
Yeah, so we're at sojourncellars.com. That's SOJOURNCELLARS.com. For those of you who are interested in keeping up with us or track with us, etc., you can just hit the mailing list and join our list. And we'd love to have you part of our family.
Well, great. We're just can't wait to get into this wine tasting. So before we close, we have a little bit of product to taste. So
sure.
Cheers. Thanks for bringing this.
Yeah, you bet.
Thanks, T, for hosting us.
Thank you. And while they're tasting that, we just want to say thank you to Craig for flying up. This is a real treat. It's one of our favorite Pinot producers in California. So we're real excited to share this with our guests tonight.
So thank you both very much for being with us on the Brown Lounge. This is the Winemaker Series. Here's to everyone. Great afternoon.
Cheers.
See you next time. Cheers. Thanks, Craig.